Uh, Hello everyone. This is like my first voiceover, so I'm gonna be really awkward about it. But welcome to draw with me, a paint with me, or something like that. Um, this will be like a mini tutorial, but just bear in mind this is my first voiceover, and I'm also not the best at explaining things, so bear with me. When starting a piece for painting, what I usually end up doing is just drawing a really basic rough sketch. And as you can see, it's not like the most attractive sketch that you can see, and you can also see that I tend to use a thicker brush than what most people use, and that's because I'm just blocking out where the facial features go and the basic pose and stuff, and it's not supposed to be like a clean sketch or whatever because I'm gonna be painting over it. Although in hindsight it would probably make everything a lot more efficient if I had the right proportions first try, but eh. Now that I've got the basic sketch down, I'm basically just putting down flat colors. And I'm not using an eyedropper tool because I want to train my eye to be better at looking at colors when I'm looking at a picture. And so what I'm really looking at here is just the predominant colors on her face. So like if we were to put it on makeup terms, it would be like her foundation color, her concealer, her contour color, her blush color, and then also like the extra things like the hair and the clothing, which in this case isn't even anything because it's just black. But yeah, if that terminology doesn't really make sense, then just try to think of it as breaking down the face into at least 3 to 5 different colors, and not just the face but the whole piece in general. So for the hair, break it down into 3 colors, the body, the face into 3 colors, etc. So for the face, you generally want to break it down into like the basic color, and then the mid-tone color, and then the shadow color. This is basically what I mean by when I said that having a better sketch, a cleaner sketch, a prettier sketch would be way more efficient than my method, because as you can see, I've started to sketch out the eyes again because I wasn't sure about where it was placed. At this point of the painting, I started to sort of define some of the features more, because after roughly sketching out where the eyes are again for the 3rd time, I'll be putting in transitional shades, and so that basically means Like from the very vivid blocks of colors that I have now, I'll be putting in shades of colors that basically blend those blocks of colors into the face so that it looks more natural and it looks more lifelike. Anyway, I'm not really like an art connoisseur or someone who's a professional when it comes to art. So I'm just sort of trying to figure things out on my own too, and just sort of giving my own input and what I find to be the best method to do things, I guess. And you know, my method isn't gonna be like the most efficient for a lot of people actually, but I'm just putting out like how I do my process, I guess. And usually what I find to be the best practice when you're doing paintings is that you start off by abstracting your picture or reference into the most basic colors that you can see. I've mentioned this before, but I think the keyword is just abstracting the colors, and then from those abstracted colors, those blocks of colors that you've put down, you're basically building in a lot more colors into those blocks so that eventually you'll have tons and tons of colors in the face to sort of imitate how your reference looks like. And one thing that I always keep in mind when I'm doing skin renders is to never think of the skin as just an array of hues of yellows or pinks, because I know to the naked eye the skin just looks like a mixture of orange and yellow, somewhere around that area, but the skin is a lot more complex than that, and the skin is actually realistically made up of a bunch of grays and greens and blues, oranges and pinks. It's like a whole rainbow there basically. And I think that's important to note, because once you start identifying which areas of the skin has those specific colors, then you're able to imitate how skin looks, or if not imitate, then just give the impression that your skin is a lot more alive. I think it really makes a piece a lot more impactful when you've got an array of colors on the face. It just makes the whole thing a lot more lively. One thing I do want to say is that almost everyone knows that I'm painting WONYOUNG. And if you don't know who she is, then she's a K-pop idol from this group called IVE. And it's really funny to me because at the moment, she kind of looks more like Songjia, which is like a makeup YouTuber. I'll just pop a photo so you can see what I mean. And I honestly, throughout the whole piece, I was thinking the exact same thought, that she looked like Songjia. And it's just funny because I think that the only thing that really made her look like a different person was her lips, because I think that I made the lips a little bit too big. So like I said, it's probably way better if you have a sketch that already plans out all the proportions correctly, but I'm not really like that, so maybe that's something that I can do a video practice on in the future, but not right now. Another juicy little thing I do when I paint, I guess, is that everything I do in one layer. Not really, but what I mean by that is that I'll do a rough sketch in one layer, and then I'll do sort of like a proportion line art sketch in another layer, and then I do another layer of just basic colors, and then from that point on, when I start integrating transitional shades, that is so hard to say, transitional shades, is that I'll only do it in one layer, and then once I feel like I've done basic block of like transitional shades, I'll do another layer where I build on to those transitional shades more. So what's fun about this process is that so basically you can see like the progression of my painting by turning on and off like all the layers that I have. And yeah, I don't know, it's just fun, I guess. Now, I know you're not really supposed to use black when you're painting, but I don't know. I think it's fun to never stick to basic rules of art. I think when you use black sparingly, it makes things look nice and stuff, and I guess that might just be like a dumb excuse I have to make the eyes pop more, because I felt like I didn't make the eyes look nearly as nice as my reference. So I don't know, I think that it made my piece look a little bit better with the hints of black and stuff. That's just my personal opinion though. Maybe in the far future I'll practice a way of drawing realistic eyes without needing to use black and stuff, but not today. Not today. finally adjusting the proportions of the face because I didn't do a proper sketch earlier. I also thankfully finally adjusted the lips so she doesn't look so much like Songjia anymore. I think adjusting the proportions definitely helped to make her look a lot more similar to WONYOUNG. So yay! I guess this should also serve as a reminder for you to check your proportions when you're painting. Ah, gosh. Finally, the final touches, which is just adjusting the hair and the pose so that it looks a lot more like the reference. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was my first voiceover, so I hope it wasn't too awkward or unbearable to listen to. And yeah, hopefully some of the things that I said was useful. Final thoughts on this tiny little practice I did. I think I actually did fairly okay with imitating the skin. I've still got a lot to improve on, like the proportions. I know that I didn't do the best with copying how the eyes look, so that's something that I could definitely improve on in the future. But yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and you can check out my other videos if you want. Not forcing you. Anyway, bye bye.